Hi, my name is Amon Teutônio Bernardo da Silva, and today I will introduce to you all my final project presentation. So, let's start. In my final presentation, we explain about what is the difference between static and non-static class variables. So, and the other things too. What is the difference between a static class variable and a class non-static variable? The main difference is that a static variable, you don't need to instantiate the class to access this value in the variable. For um, otherwise, the non-static variable, you need to instantiate the class. You need to create objects of this class to access this variable. So we have a few examples here in our program. So we have a static function and some static variables that we can access without this this class, and there we will access the variable and the functions. For example, let's see here our game are going to get current game. So let's go for here um, our main class Oregon Trail. So here, as you can see, we are declaring our private static game, and it is a static variable. It means that we don't need to access this value. We don't need to have an object. We can write the class name and type dot and type the name of variable to access this problem. But it's a private X, so we need to access it by a function, the get setter of it. So here we have the class. Oh, public. Here we have the get current game. It will get our static value, and it's a static function. And we have here to set. As you can see, we can write the name of the class dot and the name of the variable. As this variable is a private, we can only access it by our own function. Okay, so let's continue. So array list, and the num. What is the difference between them? Array list is a static length of variables. It's a list of variables in one list, but it's a static length. It means that we can't add more items than we had specified in this list. And we can have a list of primitive values. We can have a list of objects too, differently of the array list. But I will show an example of the array list first. In your class player, we have an actor array. In our game control, we have a create actor that you set it. Set it. So sorry. Your player class, we have a array of actors. But here it's not assigned the length. It's not assigned the or actor array list. So we have a here in our game control. Oops, sorry, it's game control exception. We have our game control. We have a here actor, create actor. Here we are setting this actor. We return these actors variable. So we have a here actor is a array. It's a new array of 5 lengths. It means that we have the index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the index because it starts from the O. And it will never change the length. We always will have 5 of length of this variable list. So differently of the array list, we can change the size of these variables. So for example, I can have we have an example building the regular syntax with the animals. So for example, regular same type. Here we have an array list of animals. What is array list? Array list is a list of some values too, but the main difference is that we can add more objects to this list, more values for this list, but we can't set a primitive value. We can't do it. We only can set objects. It means that if you have a int variable that have the one value, it means that you need to start an equivalent object for it. We can have the variable true, it's equal var. The look for that the Java automatically will will do a conversion of var to var2. It's a way to set primitive values by objects in the array list. So why we have a array list here? Begin animal, because in regular scene we can have a scene where the player will hunter animals, but we don't have a specific size of animals in each scene. It means that we can have a 5 animals or have a 6 animals. It will vary between scene for scene. So we prefer to use a array list in this case. Uh, the difference of array list in the array too is that as array is a specific size or program, we will create this size one time. But the array list, as it can change the size, it will require more processor of the machine that will run our program. So the array list is more slow than array because it will ask more processor to add objects to run memory or get out of it there. So we have also the enum. Enum, differently of a array list and array, is a specific and fixed size. It means that we can't change any object of this list. For example, we have an item type. We have a list of items in our game. It will never change. We have for example, here we have a item type. We have here ox, food, clothing, munitions, spare parts. We don't have a more than these items. We have only these items. It means that we have only these items. We don't need to. If we want to set more items, we can add here, put the name, etc. It means that the player cannot create more values or set any value for this kind of list. To create it, the public unknown, it's not class, it's unknown. And the type the name of the unknown and set the values of your unknown. So sorry. Let's continue. Handling exceptions. Uh, in Java, we can handle the exceptions errors. For example, if we have a view where the player needs to type a number, but the player type some letter, what will happen? We'll broke our program and it will close if we don't handle the exception. But handle the exception, we can send a message of error for player to understand what he did wrong, and we can do some action to continue our program to send here a more specific message is better. So let's go see an example in game control save game. And after we go to our save game view to see how to get this exception and to handle it. So game control, we have a key game control, save game, save. So we have our class, a static void, so we don't need to instantiate this class to access this function is a static. We are passing the parameters. And in the define of the class, we'll throws or exceptions that we'll have in your code. For example, here we have if the game is Konu, it's throw a new game exceptions is a exception class that I have created. It's it is a subclass of extent exception, and here we'll pass the parameter message. So here is the same thing. Is if the file path is equal null or the length is less than 1, it will throw a new game exception in the message. And we are using here a output stream object. So it means that we will save this file in the computer. So what it will do, we'll write the object game, this game in our computer. So, but it, why we are using try? Because we will try to execute this code. If it's not work, it will catch an error in the class that we're calling this class. The last class that is calling this class will handle this error. But for now, we need to throw this error for the class that will use this function. So we throw the game exception. Here we are throw the IO exception too. Let's go for save menu, save game view. Sorry. So here we are trying to use your game save game control save game function. We're passing the parameters, and here we will get this kind of error. So here we can send a message into our message error view message. And we can return a value false to continue in the previous menu for the player to try to type other values. And the IO exception will do the same thing. So here we can do something like this too. I will not do this now, but we can type only it. We get these two kind of errors as one thing. You can see here is you can set all the exception here with this symbol, and the E will be the exception object that your follow class will throw to us, and we can handle this error. So I will keep this in. Okay, let's continue from where we started. What is the difference between character string and byte string? So, in the beginnings of Java, we have the byte string. The byte string will handle only a character. It means that, sorry, we will handle only one byte. Oh, sorry. We will handle only one byte. So, because the ASCII, that is the table of characters in this APK, will only use one byte for each character. And it is easy to get the input, the output, to save it, to read it. But the ASCII have only the American format of letters. We have only A, B, C, etc. But in the world, we have other kinds of characters. It will not accept the Japanese character. It will show something square. But as I can see, in some place. But character string will handle the UTF-8. Is a table of characters that will get the most part of the characters in the world. We have some characters as Japanese, etc. But the problem is the UTF-8 use 2 bytes for letter. It means that we can't handle it more with the byte stream. So the character stream now is recommended for inputs in the of characters, but the byte stream is recommended to save files in Java. cartridge. So let's see some examples. Your Oregon Trail, we have here a print writer is our output. We have a buffer reader that is our input, and our print writer for to print our log file. So as you can see here, this what it will do. Here we will save our log file to log our error exceptions through your game. So for example, here the buffer, it will buffer is a part of the RAM memory that we will use to get the reader of tractor. We will not overhead the hard drive or network, etc. The print writer will get the system output, what is will be the output of your system. The true is true for the flush parameter. The flush will save all configuration, all things in one time in the computer to avoid some errors. And the place to write it is will be the log file.txt format. So here we start our view, and by it we can do these things by other class because this is static values. And we have the set get of the set get log file, etc. Here we have a define. Oh, I forgot. We have the try. If the program will try to execute it, and if it have some error, then we will run the cat. But if the tries will a success, to try to use this kind of commands will not execute the cat. But if you have an error, the try will stop and it will catch this error and do this action. But we have the parameter finally. The finally will execute even the try or the get work. It will always work. So this is how we can do it. In your error view, we will use this kind of functions. So as you can see here, we have a variable log file that is equal to Oregon get output, and your log variable is our get log file in Oregon. And here we will print in this file our errors messages. Okay. So we have also the input. So let's go for our view. We have our buffered reader. You get the getting file, the article. It's are using the bytes, but it's okay. So this is the main difference between them. So I have explained how to write attractor data to an external file. Yeah, this is how to write a tractor. We use the input stream reader or to read, and the print writer to print them. The input stream reader will get the characters, and the print writer will write your byte streams. So let's see how I work in our game. I don't know how much time I have. Don't show the time, but okay. So we can start a new game. Oh, I will show some report, for example. my report menus. Okay, oh, sorry, I need to type a value and specify it, sorry. And let's type a file. We have the game final project data. I had saved it before. And type it the file path over the game. And here we'll type first all the location that we have in our map is all things that are saved. Here. It's Idaho. So, but we can start a new game, anchor, error here. Okay, choose a anchor game, type something to continue. Choose I'm on 2, I'm on 3, oops, I'm on 3, I'm on 5. Start in March. So it will show for us our story. We don't have many options here, but you type G to see all the sum of all items is 52. I can see the map, but let's save the game because I know that we have an error here. Okay, this is what will be the name. Save it with success. Switch continue. Oops. Let's restart. Kit menu or any other letter to continue. Okay. Path. Okay, let's see the map. It have a discovery anything with your player because it's interrogation symbol. So let's come back for my menu. Sorry. Let's move the person to a new location. So we have let's, okay, let's type the row value. 1, run 2. Oh, you arrived in Oregon. These are my goal. But we have other places too in this game. But for this case, we arrive in Oregon. So this is my explanation or my final presentation. I hope that could show all things that I had learned in this semester and handle too. Thank you so much. Bye.